The rain fell in a relentless drizzle that morning, turning the streets of the city into a blur of gray reflections. Inside a small, cozy cafe tucked away between two tall buildings, the warm scent of freshly brewed coffee and baked pastries offered a sharp contrast to the cold, wet world outside. He had been coming here every morning for months, seeking solace in the quiet corners of the place, a temporary escape from the chaos of life. Yet on this particular day, nothing about the routine felt normal. The air seemed heavier, almost suffocating, as if fate itself had taken residence inside that little cafe. He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. As he sipped his coffee, eyes wandering aimlessly across the wooden tables and worn leather chairs, he noticed her. She was sitting alone, hunched over, her long brown hair falling like a curtain around her face. There was an intensity in the way she clutched her cup, a fragile tremor in her hands that suggested the weight of the world pressed on her shoulders. There was something haunting in her eyes, a story that begged to be understood, but hid behind an impenetrable wall of sorrow. She caught his gaze for a brief moment, and in that fleeting connection, he felt a pull, a strange, inexplicable tug on his heart. The moment was broken as she rose and left the table hastily, leaving a folded receipt behind. Curiosity pricked at him, and when he unfolded it, his breath caught. Written in hurried, almost desperate handwriting were the words, "Meet me before I die." The note was unsigned, without any clue of who she was or what she meant. His mind raced, torn between disbelief and an urgent, irrational need to find her. How could a stranger leave a message like that and simply vanish? What could drive someone to write such words? If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of reaching out to someone in need, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Stories, because this is a story that proves how one small act can change a life forever. He spent the rest of the morning scanning the streets outside, hoping for a glimpse of her, but the rain had swallowed her presence. He questioned his own sanity. Maybe it was a cruel joke, or a trick of the mind. Yet a sense of responsibility gnawed at him, a feeling that he could not ignore. There was a story here, a life teetering on the edge, and the universe had placed this message in his hands for a reason. He could not let it go unanswered. Determined, he started asking around, speaking to the barista and other regulars. The responses were always the same. She had been coming here for a few weeks, always alone, never speaking much, always lost in thought. But no one seemed to know her name or anything about her life. It was as if she existed in fragments, pieces of a puzzle no one had yet tried to complete. He felt a strange connection to her, an unspoken bond formed simply because he cared enough to notice. Days turned into weeks, and still, he could not find her. Each morning he arrived at the cafe with hope, scanning every face only to leave disappointed. Yet every evening he would return home, haunted by thoughts of the girl with the sorrowful eyes. He imagined her sitting somewhere alone, battling invisible storms, her heart heavy with unspoken pain. He could not shake the feeling that time was slipping away, that her words were not just dramatic, they were a plea for help, and he had to answer. Finally, one rainy afternoon, he noticed her again, sitting by the window, staring blankly at the droplets racing down the glass. Her eyes were red, her face pale, as if she had been crying for hours. He approached cautiously, not wanting to startle her, and gently asked if she was okay. She looked up, startled, and for a moment he saw vulnerability and fear intertwined in her gaze. He handed her the receipt he had kept all this time and simply said, "I got your message." Tears welled up in her eyes as she took it, a trembling hand brushing against his. For the first time she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't know anyone would care enough to find me." She revealed a story of loss, of depression, and of feeling utterly invisible in a world that seemed to move on without noticing her pain. Her parents had passed away when she was young, leaving her to navigate life alone. She had friends, but none who truly saw the weight she carried. She had felt that her life had no meaning, that her struggles were too heavy to bear, that her existence was nothing more than a burden. As she spoke, he listened, not just with his ears, but with his heart. He offered no advice, no solutions, only presence and empathy. Slowly she began to trust him, opening up about the nights she had spent crying alone, the thoughts that had haunted her sleep, and the moments when she had felt that ending, it all might be the only escape. He never judged, never offered hollow reassurances. He simply listened and reminded her that someone had noticed her, that her life mattered, and that she was not alone. Over the next few weeks, a fragile bond formed between them. He would meet her at the cafe each morning, and they would talk about everything and nothing. The conversations were sometimes heavy, sometimes light, but always honest. Slowly, she began to find strength in his presence, a sense of stability she had long forgotten. The world outside might still be cruel and indifferent, but within the warmth of that little cafe, she discovered a glimmer of hope. One day, she handed him a notebook filled with her writing, poetry, journal entries, sketches, all fragments of her inner world she had never dared to share. She explained that writing had been her only outlet, a place where her thoughts could exist without judgment. He read each page with reverence, feeling the depth of her pain and the beauty of her soul intertwined. He realized that her story was not just one of despair, but of resilience, a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even the harshest storms. The turning point came unexpectedly. She had been offered a small opportunity to share her work publicly at a local community event. She hesitated, afraid of rejection and ridicule, but he encouraged her gently, reminding her of the courage it took to even consider stepping into the light. When she finally stood before the audience and read her words aloud, her voice quivering at first but gaining strength with each line, something shifted. The room was silent, captivated by the raw honesty of her story. And in that moment, she felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in her life. Months passed, and the girl who had once left a desperate note at a cafe transformed before his eyes. The heaviness in her eyes lifted, replaced by a quiet confidence and a newfound appreciation for life. She began to volunteer, helping others who were struggling, using her own experiences to bring comfort and hope to those who felt unseen. The receipt she had left behind, once a symbol of impending despair, had become a symbol of survival and connection, a reminder that one act of reaching out can save a life. Their bond remained unbreakable, built not on romance, but on mutual respect, trust, and the profound understanding that sometimes the greatest gift one can offer is simply being present. She never forgot the man who had answered her desperate plea, and he never forgot the courage it took for her to leave that note in the first place. Together, they discovered that kindness, empathy, and unwavering support could heal wounds that seemed irreparable. Life, they realized, is fragile and unpredictable, but it is also filled with moments of unexpected grace. The girl at the cafe, who once felt that her life was meaningless, learned that even the smallest gestures, an attentive ear, a shared cup of coffee, a handwritten note, can ripple through the world in ways that change it forever. And for him, the man who had simply chosen to care, the experience reinforced a timeless truth. Every life has value, and every person deserves to be seen. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and comment below. Your engagement helps spread messages of hope and kindness to more people who might need it. And before you go, take a moment to comment. Share how this story made you feel, or if it reminded you of someone you care about deeply. Your words may inspire others, just as this story has inspired us all. Sometimes all it takes is noticing someone's pain, answering a quiet plea, or showing up when the world feels unbearable. That day at the cafe, a simple act changed the trajectory of two lives forever. And the girl who once wrote, "Meet me before I die," discovered that life, with all its pain and uncertainty, could still be beautiful, meaningful, and worth living. The note that once spoke of despair now echoed with hope, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, someone, anyone might reach out, and in doing so, save a life.